Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of this turtle page from Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford. I said turtle, I said tortoise yesterday, I don't know. And we're using Chromaflow pencils. I'm going to tackle the grassy areas first, and then we're going to be off with our houses. Let's come in now. I did say yesterday I was considering, just going to move some pencils, using the olivine for the grass, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. So I've got the olivine in my hand and I'm just going to colour in all of the grass in the olivine colour. Now I'm going to try to do a vertical movement to colour it, because I think that works best with the impression that we've got these blades of grass that we're colouring. And I do think this green is far enough away from the colour of our tortoise's feet so that it looks different. Now I have had a little think about whether to do a background for this picture, and I think the answer is probably no. I'm probably not going to do one. I don't feel that it's necessary to do them for every single picture, and we've sort of got this bit of grass here, but we've got nothing else drawn in to indicate their sky or anything like that. And I'm thinking, how would I incorporate a background here if I was going to do like a soft pastel? I'd have to do something at the bottom and like more grass or something, and I just felt it wouldn't really, I didn't think I could make it work with the picture. So I am going to leave it just blank. This is the only bit that I'm going to colour because it's obviously drawn in for us to do, and I shall leave the rest. And you could use one of those sort of cloud stencils and do some sort of sky, but where do you begin and end? Because you don't do it under here, you know, so that was just a bit confusing for me, so I just thought maybe I'd just be better off not doing it at all. So that was my thinking. I have been struggling to decide what pages to colour in this book. There are so many beautiful pages that it makes it really, really hard to choose. I don't know if you're having the same trouble as me. I also am struggling to know which ones to record and which ones not to. So I've looked, the ones I've coloured so far that I haven't recorded for videos are ones that I definitely would never record as a video unless someone sort of specifically commissioned it, you know, because I just would feel that I wouldn't be really sure how to go about it. Either there's too much repetition, or it's just, I don't know, just a page that I wouldn't naturally just turn to and go, that'll make a video. So so there I've done the intro and tips page, for example, which I didn't, there's a repetition on that page. There's a lot of symmetry, and I figured I wouldn't have done that as a video. And I am going to be doing the one with all the different leaves on, that's really small and detailed. I'm also doing at the moment, I can show you actually, the one, that's the leaf page that I'm not going to do on video, but I'm working on this page here. I've been doing these, and I'm just going to do them all differently. I've also done this page. It's a bit of an experiment. I'm not sure that I really liked it, but you'll get to see that one. It was again one that I wouldn't really, because I didn't know how to do it. I thought, well, I'm not going to do that on video. And then I had a go, and it was like, so yeah. But you'll see it eventually. I'll probably put it up on my socials anyway. I often find that I put something up that I don't think is particularly wow, and people like it anyway. I'm going to do this bit the same. So I'm doing a huge difference in the grassy bits. I want them to look the same as each other. I don't know why. I just like that consistency, and using this sort of limited colour palette, I think, is going to sort of work and pull it all together. Again, I'm going to try and do a movement like this, vertical colouring, but you sometimes have to do a bit like along this edge. I'm going to have to do a bit of horizontal, or else I won't get all the way to the edge very easily without overlapping the line. Now I've got interesting buildings here. I have decided how I'm going to colour them. Now with these bits of grass that are sort of on top of other grass, I'm not going to colour them any differently. I'm just going to go block it all in really. I didn't really want to do a darker colour. I might change my mind later. But I just felt like it was, maybe I'll layer it up a bit more like this. Put a bit of darker bit in here behind it. There, that's better. Just put a bit of shadow by layering it up. Might do that same here, sort of in there. Now I've had some ideas on how to colour these houses, so that is good. And it's all going to be in keeping with the colour of our tortoise. Right, let's just, there we go. So there is our olivine. We've done a lot of olivine there. Now, I have decided that I'm going to use the same colours that I used for the tortoise, so the same yesterday's colours. I'm going to use them again. Now, windows I'm a little bit unsure of. I'm going to use probably, yeah, the rose quartz for the glass and the windows. I think I'll just start with that actually. So rather than doing a light coming through the window, we're going to make them look glassy. Now I'm quite far away. What I'm going to do, I will come in a bit closer and move my book around so you can see what I'm doing, because it's intricate to say the least. Okay, so we've got our little barred window here, and what I'm going to do is leave a gap on the right hand side and here on the right hand side. This is how I send Johanna Basford colour windows. We've got a tiny white gap around them where so they look like they're glass reflecting light. I think I'm going to colour these as windows too. So always my whiter bit is going to be top left. I missed a bit there. I mean, I went over it a bit. It's not easy to fill in these teeny gaps, but I'm going to do the best that I can. There we go. Now let's come up. I've got a lot here. These are a bit easier, so you can see I can almost draw a line like that and then fill that in. And hopefully it looks a bit like we've got some reflection in the glass. Now I do have a video demonstrating all sorts of different methods for colouring windows, so it shows you different ways that you can approach it, because there are so many different ways to colour glass, and that's just a few examples. I'm sure there are many more ways than I know of, but this is one way, and then you can just put the light through. You can show what's going on inside the room. You can do reflective lines like that. Yeah, lots of different things that you can do, and giving a slightly different effect. Oh, we've got this one here, but we can see them all now, so I don't have to worry about moving the book, which is good, because I am prone to forget. There we go. I haven't totally planned how I'm doing this. I've just decided on what colours I'm using. So I've made a start in my head, but I haven't really planned it particularly well, so I'm not very good at doing that with colours and things. But I think I'm going to start with the roofs and things, and I'm going to go with the slate grey, but I might mix it a little bit with this other grey like we did on our tortoise. But I'm just going to sort of start here and just look at what we've got. I'm not going to go particularly hard, just nice and light. And then thinking about this roof pattern, so it's going to be a bit darker I think under here, and then we sort of will lighten it down towards that edge, that curve. And then under here it would be darker where there'd be a bit of shadow, because it's almost like it's trying to indicate there's sort of overlapping roof tiles, and then goes down to a lighter bit here, and then same. You may need to sharpen your pencil to get into that detail. I'm just about managing. I may need to sharpen it in a minute. I think I will sharpen it now actually, and then it'll make my life a little bit easier. And we've got different types of roofs, shapes of roofs, that sort of thing to play with. So that will keep it interesting. Just keep it lighter there. Just making sure it's all actually been coloured in. There we go. Now this roof here, I think what I'm going to do is colour this one in fairly lightly, and then start darkish here. Just layer it up a little bit. I don't want it mega dark. And then just fade it down as we go. So our lightest part is on the bottom there. And then this piece just a bit darker. It'd be a bit shadowy. There we go. Just going to darken that a little bit more and try and get a more even blend down. There we go. This roof is probably a sort of cone, so it would be darker here and lighter in the middle. So I'm going to layer it up a little bit more on the edge and less in the centre. I'm also just going to block that bit in just for ease. Okay, now we're going to come down a little bit. We've got this side one here. Again, I'm just going to go gently here. And then I'm thinking this building might be set back, so I think there might be a shadow here. And then we might just fade it down towards the corner. Like that. And under here we've got this little support. I'm going to do this in quite a layered up colour. Like that. There we go. Now we've got these window frames. I'm going to do those in this colour too. There we go. And the other one in the same. Okay, I'm not going to do the window sills, I don't think, in this, but we need to do these top roofs, so let's just, oh, we can't get them all into shot. There's a lot of them, isn't there? So again here, quite light there, and then dark here, and we're sort of fading as we go down. Less layers, but we have to be aware that we've got an overlap on here. So this would be a little bit darker. Johanna's actually drawn that in for us a bit darker anyway. There we go. And then this one, a bit lighter here, a little bit darker as we go down. I'm almost going to, well, I am going to ignore the sort of stripe pattern on here and just gently try to fade my colour going down the roof. So it's quite light by the time we get to the bottom. You see, I haven't got a particularly even fade, so I'm just going to try and amend that slightly. And then this one I want a little bit darker. Now we've got this roof here. I think the easiest way to do these is just to make them darker at the bottom and lighter at the tip. Like that. Then we've got our little chimney here. I I'm going to make it darker on either side, on both sides I mean, and then a bit lighter to the centre, so it looks like it's more conical, and the same with this one, so a bit darker either side, and then lighter towards the centre. Now what colour are we going to do our buildings? Well, we've got our roof and our windows in the colours that we've got our shell, so I feel like we need to use our greens for the windows. Just trying to find all the, here they are. Right, so we have got the sort of main, I'm going to come out a bit for a minute because, oops, I want you to see the whole thing. There we go. So we've got our main buildings that are quite plain, like this one and this one and this one, and I feel that these could be in our pastel mint. Okay, so I'm going to fill in all of those just with the pastel mint. In fact, we might just do most of it in this, because we can go over it in our darker colour if we think it's necessary. Like these bricks, for example, they need a bit of work, but I'm just going to go over it all in the pastel mint to start with, because this bit here I want to remain in the pastel mint. The same with our little chimney, everything really. And then we'll put in some shadows like under the roof and where things are overlapping and all that sort of thing, like we did really with the tortoise, where we did a base colour and put in shadows and things. It's a little bit easier, I think, and it helps me get an idea of what it's going to look like when it's finished. A better idea than just staring at the white page, which, yeah. Try not to colour inside the windows. I think I just did on that one. So I'm going quite fast here, I'm sorry if it's a bit too fast, but I'll slow down once I'm doing something different. I'm really just adding a layer of colour over everything, so it isn't very technical, and you can probably do it better than me. I'm not sure about this lamp. I think I'm going to do it green. Don't know about the light coming out of it. That's a challenge. We'll worry about that later. Right, my next colour is going to be the cactus. And what I'm going to do with my cactus... Oh, actually... No, it's not. I'm going to use the obsidian green to do the shadows, because that's what we used on our tortoise and it worked rather well. I am coming in closer now so you can see, because you need to see what I'm doing, and I'll be going a bit slower so you can see. So our first piece is this tower here. Now I'm thinking that it is a round tower, it's not a flat tower, so if we use our obsidian green on the edge here and just gently add a bit of a layer of shadow like that, and here I need to sort of fade that one a bit. It gives more of an impression that it's circular. And we're going to do the same on this part as well. I know we've got our bricks here. We're going to do the bricks later. This is just purely our shadowy stage, if that makes sense. So again, just a bit on the edge. Now under this sort of balcony bit, we would have more of a defined shadow like that. And here, look, where the houses are overlapping our little tower here, they'd be quite shadowy in there and there, like that. Might have a bit under the window, but this particular tower as well, I'm thinking I think that would go all the way round, so I'm thinking maybe again a bit dark on our edge, like that, and the same on this side there. So just purely shadows here. We'll do our chimneys now. So again, the edges a bit darker to help make it look like it's shadowy on that side where it's turned. It's not facing us because it's the edge that's curving round behind. Okay, and we will come back, as I say, and do the stonework. I'm going to do the same here, just do the sort of edges. Might not do much else on that particular one. And now we're coming to this, let's do this bit, this building. So under the roof line, I feel there would be shadow where its roofs would overhang. I think they tend to they're there to slightly protect from rain and weathering. I've made that a bit too thick, I think, but never mind, we've got to go with it. We'll put a little line under the windowsill, and then around this building where it's overlapping, it'll be casting a bit of a shadow, and around here, around our little turrets, and down here, be a bit there, but also here, look, Johanna has drawn it in here as if this is shadow, and I'm thinking maybe along there, and maybe also along there, like that. Now let's do this one over here. So I'm thinking again under the roof line a little bit, maybe either side of this overhang, a lot more underneath than above, and of course here where the house is overlapping, and the roof, and then under the sill. Now the central building looks to me more like it's square, not rounded. This looks up here, can't see, this for example looks like a tower, but this to me doesn't. So I'm not going to put any shading on the edges to try and make it look rounded. Put some under the roof and under the windows, like that, and then just above this sort of brick bit here, and also where this building's overlapping, so to the side of here, down here, and sort of in and around this bit. Can you see? Oh yeah. So down to there. We can do this little building as well, and I feel like we would have some shadow here where it's sort of against this house, and then under the sill, but that's probably all. Let's do the big tower. There's not a lot going on here. I think maybe here and here, but we have to remember the shape. I think it's rounded, so I need to put a bit on these edges like this, and then on the edge of this one too. And we've got our little one here, again, just under the roof, I think, under the window, and then down the side here. I think under here too, a little bit there. Now this front one again I feel is rounded, so these bits, I think these turrets, I'm going to put some shadow in there. Like that to start with. Then here on this edge, bring it in a little bit. And same here, just a bit on the edges. We actually didn't put a shadow, we didn't shadow it onto the tower. put a bit of shadow along the edge there. I put one under there just to separate those two bits. And lastly, we've just got this little one here, and there's a shadow there and there. We haven't done one above there either. There we go. Now we need another colour to do our sort of features, and this is where I'm going to come in with the cactus colour. Okay, we'll start down at the bottom actually and do the door frame. I'm just going to colour it in, and this bit above, and the bricks. Now bricks, I tend to try and do them a bit dark on the edges, just to try and give them a bit of shape, like that. I can do the windowsill over here as well when I notice, and then work some more on these bricks. Now just trying to see, you can see the whole of the tower good. We'll work on all the bricks on the tower. And then I figure colouring this bit in might be good, like that. Now we've got the bricks here. I'm going to sharpen my pencil. They're quite fine. There we go. Now I was told by Derwent that the best sharpener to use for their pencils was their own hand crank sharpener. But I know that some people don't like it, because when it grips the pencil in the sharpener, it pushes something into the pencil and it makes little dents in the pencil, and people don't like that. They say it ruins their pencils to have these little dents in them. Now I wouldn't go as far as to say ruined it, but it definitely marks them, and I can see why people might not like that. But if you use a hand crank sharpener like mine, well, I've got the Derwent one, but the one I use more, which I was sent by someone, it's been lovely, is a dowel. And the dowel one, D-A-H-L, doesn't mark the pencils, but it's got the same hand crank mechanism as the Derwent, so it's pretty good, safe to use for your Derwents pencils. I find it good. Oh, my eyes are going funny. I'm just going to sit back. Right, so this one, I'm going to do these little vertical pieces. I can't see if that's doing anything. Yeah, and the windowsill. I've got this bit here that I'm going to do. Now with the lamp, I'm going to make the sides a little bit darker than the centre. Perhaps I should have done that with my other darker colour, but I'm quite happy with doing that. And now we've got our little top bit to do. I'm going to do the bricks just in the same way as I've been doing them. Now it might not show up on these ones that have got more shadow on, but I don't mind. I'm going to give it a go, and I know I've done it regardless of whether it shows up. Same on the chimneys. And I'm going to do these horizontal pieces on the chimney too. Now we have got this little plant in a pot here. What I've decided to do with this one is to do the leaves in, I might use the field grey because we haven't used it in the houses. Really I should use the foliage so it's the same as all our other greenery, but I think I'm going to use this because I haven't, as I said, I haven't used it on this bit. And for the pot I'm going to use this is, yeah, no, I'm not going to use that. I'll get there in a minute. The pink heather I'm going to use. I used it on the flowers that are on the tortoise's head. I'm going to block it in like that with the pink heather, and then I just realised something else I need to do. I'm going to use the dusky purple to shade it a bit, but it's broken off. There we go. So a bit of the dusky purple on each edge, really quite gently. It's quite a strong colour. I'm going to have to take it in a bit further. There we go. Now the thing I haven't done is the door, and I'm going to use, what should I use? I think I'm going to use the field grey for the door as well, because it will stand out a little bit more. Now, I don't know about this bit above here. I think I'm just going to fit it all in and not the handle. There we go. Try and shadow into the handle. Isn't easy. And then I'm going to use the French mauve for the handle, just because I haven't used it yet. And I think it will stand out over the green that's in the background of it. There we go. There. Now, the only bit I haven't done is the eye. Let me just show you her eye. I'm just trying to decide. I'm just going to sharpen this. I think it might work. I'm going to give it a go. It's very pale. The ash rose for the eye. I'm going to use it on the left and right side, and then leave the top and bottom empty of colour. There we go. And here she is, all done. The second bit of the video is a bit shorter. The only thing we haven't done, I've just noticed I've got to do something else, but I'm coming out to show you it all anyway. The light coming out of here, I am going to use the pink heather. I know it's weird, but I don't want to use yellow, so I'm going to block that in there quite dark and put a bit of light in pink, because I can't use yellow. We've not used yellow on this page, so yeah, that's what I'm using. But if you don't like it, you can go with what you want to use, but I think that's that. Now, if you want a background for this, I would use a cloud stencil and do very pale, slightly grey pink cloud. Yeah, but I think I don't want to do it. I like it just as it is, so I'm going to leave it like that. So there we go. That is a sort of slightly muted colour palette. If you want something much brighter and bolder, absolutely go for it. But there's just an idea for you, and you can still sort of do your shading in the same places if you like the way it's done or want to do a little bit of help with it. But you can just use different colours. Like, you can use your gemstone colours. If you want this, you could do bright red diamonds and just colour it in a similar way. Don't scribble over it like I have though. You can shade it dark here, leave a white bit there, shade it dark here. I'll show you like this gemstone here, so make it dark there, a lighter bit in the middle, so you've got a bit of a shine on it, that sort of thing. I don't think you've seen that video yet, but anyway, it will come. You can wait for that video if you want to watch it actually being done properly. But there she is. He, she, they. There they are. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a super day and happy colouring.